Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Ritual Beasts Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for December 2018. For a good while now, a lot of you have been asking for a Ritual Beasts update to the deck. I do actually remember, I think I did one, it might have been a couple of years ago when Secret Forces first came out. Don't know if I did any recently up till then, but it's a really fun deck, and big thanks go out to my girlfriend Marissa for letting me borrow her Ritual Beast deck for the deck profile. But it's a really fun deck. The whole point of the deck is to focus on just basically fusion summoning out the different Ritual Beast fusion monsters we have in the deck with the different tamers and the beast monsters as well. It's a really interesting take on fusion in general and just banishing different cards using traps and just the different ones in general. So definitely look forward and give it a shot if you haven't tried it before. But let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, I run 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. After you normal summon this card, you can normal summon 1 Ritual Beast monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. And you can only gain this effect once per turn, and you can only special summon Ritual Beast Tamer Elders once per turn. It's a really good level 2 Psychic monster, just for the fact that it can set up your field very quickly, and the fact that we also have a Ritual Beast Link monster that you can go into to help with some of your plays as well. Definitely makes this card a 3-up for sure, just to set up those monsters on the field, whether you're going to use them for fusion or for link summoning. I also run 3 Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. If this card in your owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, by battle, or card effect, you can special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and you can only special summon Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda once per turn. So really helpful with just your different special summon plays with this card, depending on which one you may need for the play, or just one you may want to go for your plays. It definitely does help with all the bunch of different ones, especially when you need the requirements on the field to go into, let's say, your big Ritual Beasts Ulti Gaia here, which requires a fusion and one of each of the Beast Tamers and the Spiritual Beasts to make. So 3 ofs for both Elder and Winda definitely do help just for consistency in the deck. For some of the other backup Tamers, I run 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Wen. If this card is normal summon, you can target one of your banished Ritual Beast monsters, special summon it. You can only special summon Ritual Beast Tamer Wen once per turn. So it helps because if you get any of your Ritual Beast monsters banished, it's an easy special summon where Elder basically grabs them from the hand. Wen can grab them from the banish zone. So easy to make use of in both of those places. I only run 1 Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. If this card is normal summon, you can target 1 Ritual Beast Tamer monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only special summon Lara once per turn. But the graveyard effect, I would say, is not as used as the banished or the hand ones, which is why I just reduced it to the 1 of in the deck. If you want to mix around the numbers with Wen, you can try out both. But I like the 2 Wen and the 2 Lara in total, just for the deck. For those grabs and where you can get them from: graveyard, hand, and banished, basically. I also run 2 Zephyr Pilica Ritual Beast Tamer. When this card is normal or pendulum summon, you can target 1 Ritual Beast or Zephyr monster in your graveyard, except for Zephyr Pilica, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase, and you can only special summon Zephyr Pilica once per turn this way. This is another backup reason why I only ran 1 Laura, just for the fact that this card also shares with that same effect with a little better attack stats, which is why I decided to run 2 of this over Laura as well. With that just extra option available to you, definitely does help and come in handy. And then for the Spiritual Beasts monsters, I run 3 Spiritual Beasts Kanahawk. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck face up, and during your second standby phase, after this effect activates, add the banish card of this effect to your hand, and you can only special summon Kanahawk once per turn. But you have the banish option available to you right then and there with this card, so it comes in very handy with Wen for sure, and just all your other banish options you have available to you in the deck. Plus the search option is just an added investment as well with this card. I also run 3 Spiritual Beast Renfeng. This one, once per turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck and send 1 Ritual Beast monster with the same type as that monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you can only special summon Renfeng once per turn. It sets up a lot of your needed monsters as well using this card, so very helpful just being able to basically mill through the deck and set up the extra deck monster in the graveyard as well with this one. Plus the 3-ofs with this and Cannahawk, just with the graveyard or the banish, definitely do come in handy. And then for some of the lower numbers, I run 2 Apelio. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your graveyard. For the rest of this turn, all Ritual Beast monsters you control will gain 500 attack and defense, and you can only special summon Apelio once per turn. So the boost definitely does help, especially with some of your other fusion monsters, like let's say Ulti Apelio with its 2600 attack. Just to get over some things is definitely helpful for sure. But I just run 2 Apelio, and I also run 1 Petalfin, just because they are searchable. You don't really need the big numbers like Cannahawk and Renfeng as you did with these ones, but still helpful to have them. With Petalfin, once per turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your hand, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only special summon Petalfin once per turn. You have the option for the bounce, which definitely comes in handy with this, especially when you tag out with your Ritual Beast fusion monsters, but just the 1-of, like I said. Other than that, the bounce effect, it's not as great of a offensive card power-wise like some of the other ones may be, which is why I just decided to keep 1 of it in the deck. And that is it for the monsters. Decided to stick with as pure of a Ritual Beast lineup as I could for the deck. I know some people like to run Wind Witches just for an added backup for synchro strength with the deck. But I wanted to see just how good it could be pure, which I still do like it very much. You have the Link option available to you, plus the Fusion option. So running all together with the Spiritual Beast Tamers and the Spiritual Beasts definitely do run very well together. But moving on to the spells, I run 1 Ritual Beast Bond. With this one, you banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters you control to special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. It's a quick play spell, so you have that option available to you if you need to activate this very fast. But most of the time, I just need it for that one situation. Other than that, I can make plenty of other fusion plays on my own that I need. Other than that, it just comes in handy for those specific situations. I also run 2 Ritual Beast Return. It's another quick play spell. Banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from your hand, then target 1 of your Ritual Beast monsters that is banished or is in your graveyard. Special summon it. So with the option to banish a Ritual Beast monster from your hand and then get a special summon from your banish, definitely does come in handy just to make usefully of all you have set up with the deck. That's why I decided to just run 2 of this card for that option of the special summon for sure. But you have to be set up, which is why I decided just to run 2 and not end up with too many dead draws if I end up having my opening plays, but do end up drawing this card early game. I also run 1 Emergency Teleport. Very, very helpful for the fact that the Ritual Beast Tamers are psychic, so you can make full use of either of them on the field just to get out. Remember, they have to be normal summoned to get their effects, but just having that monster on the field is easily and showing you the next card on the line. Sorry about that. Just helpful for your different plays for sure with an easy special summon. And on to the next one that flew onto the screen, I definitely apologize about that, is Dimensional Fissure. This one really doesn't hurt you as much with your graveyard plays. Going back to the banish with the Wen as well, being able to grab them from there with any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. It can definitely hurt your opponent a lot instead of you, since you still have options with the banish zone with this card. And I also run 2 finish off the spells, 3 Call by the Grave. I just really like this card because a lot of different hand traps that your opponent may run can mess up a lot of your different cards as well, whether it's sending them to the graveyard or just special summoning. So being able to handle those hand traps with an answer definitely does come in handy. And then moving on to the traps. Traps are definitely a very important lineup in the deck. I run 3 Ritual Beast Steeds. If you control a Ritual Beast monster, destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you currently control. It can take care of a lot of your opponent's pesky problems for sure, whether it be field spells, continuous spells, you name it. Running 3 of this definitely does help just to take care of a lot of different answers that your opponent may have. And I want to run 3. Sadly, I only have 2 Ritual Beast Ambush, but I'll show the card I would want to take out. 4, third one. If you like the tech option I put instead, that's completely fine as well. Maybe you just like the 2. But I played, and I do like the 3 option available when I do have it. Target 1 of your Ritual Beast Tamer monsters and 1 of your Spiritual Beast Tamer monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard. Special summon them in defense position. After this card is activated, you cannot special summon monsters except Ritual Beast monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only activate 1 Ritual Beast Ambush per turn. But this card definitely does help just for your special summon setup. So you definitely would want to run 3 of it just for the option to, easily get monsters on the field to use for your fusion summons. And I run 1 Macros Cosmos. This just definitely does help with the same reason as Dimensional Fissure, taking care of your opponent's graveyard plays for sure. And I also run 2 Torrential Tribute. This is just another added option that I like as a trap backup in the deck for taking care of opponent's problems, but still having plenty to use if you don't have Dimensional Fissure or Macros Cosmos and they get sent to the graveyard. You still have graveyard plays available to you with cards like Zephyrin Pelica or Laura as well. And I run 1 Imperial Order just with a bigger trap lineup than the spell lineup. The spells are still very, very good and helpful in the deck for sure, but you're able to lock down your opponent just as much with this and Defissure and Macros Cosmos from using spells as well. So, and still having access to your traps can still give you plays and just all the different monster effects you have as well. But if you didn't want to run Imperial Order and you still like the option and you didn't want to risk, your spell plays, you can take this out and it can be the 3rd Ritual Beast ambush for the deck if you didn't want to run Imperial Order in the main deck. And then lastly, just a small Solemn lineup, 1 Solemn Warning and 2 Solemn Strikes. Don't really pay for life too much else in the deck, aside from the Imperial Order, obviously. So you still have pretty good options with the Solemn lineup in the deck. And moving on to the extra deck for the fusion monsters, I run 2 Ritual Beasts Ulti Apelio. With this, it must be a special summon from your extra deck by banishing the above cards and cannot be special summoned by other ways. You do not use polymerization. If this card attacks, it is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step, and during either player's turn, you can negate this card. You can basically return this card you control to the extra deck, then target 1 of your banished monsters, Ritual Beasts, and 1 of the Spiritual Ritual Beasts, and special summon them in defense. So you have the option to special summon out the different Ritual Beasts that you may have set up with this card, and the fact that it's unaffected by other cards makes it for a pretty big heavy swinger as well against your opponent. Sadly, we only have 1 Ritual Beast Ulti Canahawk on the ban list. Same special summon requirements as well. But with it, once per turn, you can target 1 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return it to the graveyard, and if you do, add 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand, and then during either player's turn, you can return this card to the extra deck to special summon both those cards, the Ritual Beast monster and the Spiritual Beast, to the field in defense. So it's great for the recycling power. I can still see why it would be at 1 on the list, and the deck would just get much, much better for sure if we see it come down to maybe 2 on the list for sure. But until then, we'll just have to make do with what we have, sadly, for the Canahawk in the deck. I also run 1 Ulti Petalfin. With this one, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and during either player's turn, it has the return effect to special summon the Spiritual Beast and the Ritual Beast monster. So 2800 defense makes for a pretty good wall, and if your opponent, is going to get over them, you can just simply tag them out as well for another easier protection for sure with your monsters. And I also run 1 Ritual Beast Ulti Guy Pelio. You need a Ritual Beast Ulti monster, and then 1 Ritual Beast Tamer monster, and 1 Spiritual Beast monster. You don't get it out as often. I still like having the option to go into it available to you, and it's one of your more powerhouse options. When a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your hand to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So you have great negation effects plus 3200 attack, makes it for one of your big attack monsters in the deck. So you can't really go wrong when you do get into this, make this card for sure. And going into the Link monsters, I run 2 Ritual Beasts Ulti Kimun Falcos. You need 2 Ritual Beast monsters to make this card, and Ritual Beast monsters that this card points to gain 600 attack and defense, so another great boost effect for sure. And you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Ulti Kumun Falcos once per turn, and a quick effect, you can return this card you control to the extra deck to target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast, special summon monster, and special summon them in defense. The extra normal summon and the power boost just really do come in helpful with this card, so you can't really go wrong with it. Plus the fact that it also has sort of a tag out effect as well makes it great for the Ritual Beast deck in total. I also run one Great Fly just with the Wind monsters. It helps for another boost up effect and return effect from the graveyard. And then for just a little extra generic support for the Link monsters when you can make them, one Nightmare Cerberus, one Nightmare Phoenix, and one Land Fornicus. Most of the time you want to go for the Altiku and Falcos, but sometimes if you just have this option available to you, it's good to go into. Same with the Underclock Taker and one Borreload, just for a bigger Link 4 monster option available as well. And then for just a couple Exceed monsters, since we do run a majority of level 4 monsters, one Castel and one Tornado Dragon. Just the majority of the monsters were level 4, so I found that this card definitely does come in handy the most when you wanted to go into Exceed options for sure in the deck. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.